What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing well. We are back on WUG with a request. So, I was requested to check out the Charger SRT8, and I thought, why not? This car is pretty interesting. As you can see, it does come with some body kits to look like a stock car, which is pretty sweet. And I do like this car in real life as well. As fun fact, that this car was supposed to be an OG World. It was tucked away in the game files. However, in the game, we're going to be trying out this rental, which is the best case scenario of this car. I haven't driven this car in forever, but I remember last time I drove it, which was around the time it was released. It was awful in my opinion. It was simply just another boat car. And I was just like, what even is the point of this thing? It looks really cool, however, it can't drive. But this maxed out rental spec, like, look at this. I was so shocked that I did well at this race, because I was coming into the race expecting another boat to be completely sluggish, pretty useless. And yes, in the corners, it is a heavy car. However, it no longer slides about as if it's a Charger RT from the 60s. And I was really shocked. I was so shocked, especially against this DBR9. Granted, this is a highway-based track, but this car is only at 726. We are not anywhere near that 749 overall cap. And this thing pulls. This thing pulls like crazy. This feels like a upgraded version of the Eleanor Shelby I drove a few weeks ago. Granted, that car was a lot less powerful than this one, but I feel like this car fixes all the issues I had with that car. And it just has insane acceleration. That's what I noticed. I was like, wow. I was really surprised that this one ended like this. But here's a place you should not take this car. I know that dude in the Lotus was probably like, what is this guy doing driving this car in this track? Because this is a very technical track, and this really exposed this car's weakness. It is not made for a track like this. However, I gotta tell you, it's not as bad as you'd think it'd be. You'd think you'd be fighting the car the entire time, sliding all over, but that's just not the case. That is not the case whatsoever. Was it enjoyable? It really wasn't, but it wasn't like, oh man, like, can we just finish up this race already? It has heavy steering. It doesn't like to grip too well. However, as you can see right here, with a car like this, you'd expect it to slide out, but it does not. It actually holds its own. It's just a little boaty, that's all. Like right there, I tried to push the car a little bit, but I didn't really like it. However, it responded well to my adjustment, which I was surprised. And for most of this race, I did not get absolutely destroyed, but after this section, it goes downhill to the point that, yeah, that Lotus was just devouring the track, and I'm just here like, oh, we are in unfamiliar territory. Now, this is the best case scenario for this car. I don't know what it'd be like in lower classes, because with my experience, it was super slow and just sluggish. And for all I know, it could still have that same slidey characteristics in a lower class. I know some cars, they do behave very differently in different classes. So this is your best case scenario. And we finally made it, avoiding the DNF. Now this is a section in which, granted, it might be my technique, it might be the skill mods put on, but I was really disappointed in this car in the Team Escape section. I was expecting this thing to be a little bit, of a brute and just be able to just get through the cops. However, it's not really so much of the case. Now with Jug, yes, with Jug, anything is possible. This thing does very well with that. However, on its own, no. And also, once you go off-road with this thing, and tight spaces like this car does struggle a lot. It really does struggle. Even though it's not a typical car in which it slides about and you'll be struggling, it still struggles. Like, look at that. I had no choice. I had to just use whatever power-ups I can get at situations. So this thing does not like small spaces. If you know what to handle a car like this, it could definitely be a beast. However, if you're new or honestly you're like me, and wow, look at that flip. That is crazy. But if you're like me, just not that great at Team Escapes, this car is really not it. Just trying to make it through. Now we're on the highway, so we can stretch our legs a little bit. Just taking the road. Now, this generation of Charger, I'd say this is still my favorite generation of Charger. Granted, you might be thinking, what do you mean? This is better than the 69 Charger and stuff? Yeah, I think so. For me, I never really had much of an attachment to that generation. Nice job on me. Just going through the spikes, not paying attention. I never had much of a connection to that car growing up. The mid-2000s, late 2000s SRT8 were the first Chargers I saw. And yeah, those were cool cars, but when I saw this generation, I was like, whoa. Like, this thing looks pretty fire. And even when the newer ones came out, I was like, yeah, it's nice, but something about this car, it's a very, I like its boxy dimensions. And honestly, in real life, I would love to get a RT version of this with the all-wheel drive. It seems like a pretty cool car to own. We are out here just struggling. We are struggling. And I had to end the Team Escape early because of the fact that I had to pick up a call. That's really what it was. And I feel like this Team Escape right here showed the car and what it can do. Yeah, it's... If you got a lot of Jug, you'll be good to go. If not, yeah, good luck. Anyways, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a good one. Peace.